What is going on, everybody? This is your boy Damon with another episode of the Mariana Trench. I think this is episode 6 now. We're going to start coming at you with some different formats, dropping videos. I'm going to do this version in the podcast. I've been talking about how much time I have or don't have, and really working on, dropping good content and dropping content consistently to build my personal brand. And so, one of the biggest pieces of time that I have is riding in the car. And so I'm going to start taking advantage of this time to talk with you guys and, and really just stop holding, the content to such some high standard that doesn't even exist or that stops progress. If you look at other parts of your life, at the gym, at work or whatever, you never let what's going on stop you. You're like, if somebody, isn't going along with your plan or your goals or your project or anything like that, you don't just be like, all right, I'm quitting. Hey, boss, I'm putting my 2 weeks in. I guess I'm not going to work here anymore because Bill doesn't want to work with me on my project. And so, taking that same logic and applying it to, everyday life and, how I create content. I think one of the hardest things, about creating content, putting it on the internet, engaging your followers and things like that, is the fact that, you look at who is popular online or, who is most successful, and you find that maybe it's people that are already successful. But, you can't wait till you're at the top of your game, in my opinion, to, start doing what you would do if you were already there, if that makes any sense. You don't, I guess like the art of manifestation, manifesting your goals, you're supposed to behave as if you're already have achieved your goal, and that in doing that, you're going to make your goal or your dream, manifest itself, because the universe is looking at you as like an open vessel, like, hey, this guy is ready, this gal is ready. And so it's almost like the purpose of all this content and, and what I'm talking about is simply to, document the journey. And so maybe, somebody looking back or myself looking back on this, I can say, oh, wow, man, look at how much I've grown since then. Look how my thoughts have changed. Who has the time really to write in a journal these days? And, is that even necessary to try to write in a journal? I think it does, if that's what, helps you put your thoughts down on, if putting your thoughts down on paper helps you, think better, or work on your emotional state, then of course do that. But I think making these videos and talking out loud, I think, is another way to do that. I haven't had my coffee yet, by the way, so bear with me. I recently went to a conference, and at the conference, a sleep doctor was there, and he talked about how, when you first get up, maybe the first thing you shouldn't do is drink coffee, because your body already has a bunch of adrenaline going through it, and so if you drink coffee at that time, it's not really going to be as effective as if you wait a little while. And that he recommends the first thing that you do is actually, drink a big cup of water. And so I did that, and I do that, but I have a little bit of a drive when I head into the office. And so about halfway through the drive, I'm like, man, I should have brought a coffee with me. But I think it really does work. And when I do get in the office and have that cup of coffee, I think it really is worth it. When you're creating content, one of the biggest challenges is like, what is my niche? What am I going to talk about? What can I bring, to the world that's valuable? And I feel like I'm still trying to discover that. I'm still trying to flesh that out. But I really, on the creative side, I really like making my own clothes and at Mariana Trading. And the way that whole thing started, of course I started with hats. That was, I wanted my own dad hat. I don't know, maybe a lot of people wanted their own dad hat. There's a lot of businesses like that. But, it didn't stop there. It was more that it didn't actually start there in my mind. It was that I wanted streetwear, but I had trouble finding streetwear that fit me, because I'm a larger guy, and so I needed like a 3X, and not a baby 3X, but like a real 3X that just fits the right way. And I found that a lot of the streetwear brands that I like maybe was an extra large, maybe 2X, and if it did go to a 2X and I got to try that on, it just was a little bit too small. And so that really spurred me to say, hey, why do I keep chasing these other brands? Why don't I just start my own brand? And that's what I did. And maybe on a future vlog or podcast or whatever, I can talk about how I did that. But I would say it was difficult at times, because if someone isn't encouraging you, or you're actually facing discouragement that like, why are you doing that? That's stupid. You can't really listen to that, because if you see the vision in your own mind, that has to be good enough for you. And I've faced that before, where you had an idea, you talked to somebody about it before it was fully fleshed out. Maybe they discouraged you from doing it. It could be anybody. Or you just face some kind of negative feedback, and you're like, man, maybe I should go back to the drawing board. But you'll know that it's a really good idea, or at least something that you should pursue, when really, no matter what anybody says, you're still like, nah, you're wrong, I think I'm gonna go for it. And that was the project at Mariana Trading. Was really one of those things. And it hasn't really been like a sprint, but it's just been like consistent effort since about September 2016, to just create new items, create a vibe, and then also to to market my own items through collaborations with creative photographers or models and things like that. And so that's really been an interesting journey, because you can only by yourself take something so far. You can only take a project so far. It's hard to be the designer, the supply chain manager, the marketing manager, the creative director, and do all these things. Sometimes you have to be like, what, I trust this person to that if I give them the creative leeway, that they're going to create something good, and to kind of do the vetting on the front end for what their vibe is, and it's like, does that match my brand identity? And if it does, then I'm like, all right, man, go for it. I'm not even trying to hold your hand. Here's the gear, you got 2 thumbs up from me, so let's just get it, and do what you want to do, and then send me back the pictures, and go from there. And then we can fine tune from that point. And then when you find good people, you can just work with them to build that loyalty, and just show their appreciation, promote their work, and different things like that. Oh yeah, and one more thing, like, comment, subscribe, the standard YouTube closeout. But yeah, for sure, like, comment, subscribe, and even if you don't like it or whatever, or you just have some feedback for me on how I can make the podcast better, make the videos better, please drop a comment so I can keep creating good content. All right, peace, y'all.